down the hammer and pick up the pencil. You're about to listen to the Savvy Radio Show. Learn from real-life real estate investors, experience revealed with the Savvy Landlord as your host.
What's going on, Savvy Investors? This is your friend who? Steve Van Kallenberg, Savvy something, doing something. Every day I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying to do something to empower you to make your life greater, better. I know some of my friends are dealing with some depression. They're fighting the strong man. Whatever it is, keep light. Hopefully this gives you joy, and you could laugh from my somewhat audio linguistal ninjutsu. Yeah, I know you like that. Anyway, I'm kind of juiced up because I get to hang out with good people all day. And a good friend of mine sent me this question almost a week ago, and I'm just now jumping on it. So, Kay, I'm sorry I'm slow, but here we go. It says, when hiring day labor handyman, how should they be paid? By cash or check? And what is the best way to track this spending for tax purposes? Ooh, good question. Well, here's a couple of things you got to think about. Liability versus, I'm not worried about the money per se. Who are you hiring? You should definitely do some tracking, some background check, this individual. Anyone that ever works for us as a company, we Google them up, not only just YouTube or Facebook or wherever we find this individual. We want to know if they've been sued before or if they've sued other people, just because you need to know who you're dealing with. Okay, so that's the first thing when you're hiring. Now, you can hire day labor, like say you just got some basic non-skill work and you don't want to worry about workman's comp. And if you don't know about workman's comp, maybe I can cover that here in a minute. But you don't want to worry about workman's comp or, pay the $15, the extra $5 or $10 and hire ready labor. And if that's what the kind of type of labor that you need. But, he's saying handyman work. Well, first of all, just to answer the question, pay cash or check. First of all, you want to pay check for everything just to have tracking. And it's also a deduction off of your taxes, depending on specifically what they're doing. And the IRS, it is a repair. It's a write-off. If it's capital improvement, it's capital infused into the business. And that certain amount of money is possibly taxed if you have a profit at the end of the year. And I guess I can get into that more in depth if you don't understand what I just said there. What's the best way to track it? Well, the government requires you to, anything over $600, whoever you're writing that check to, you got to turn in a 1099. If you don't turn in a 1099 or W-9 on your side and the other individual gets a 1099, that handyman, you will be paying tax on that money. For example, you hire a guy, he's doing a great job, and you pay the dude $2,000, and you're not smart or savvy on the front end. You don't get his social security card, or you don't get him to fill out a W-9, and you just go down the road. You're going to pay tax on the $2,000. The government thinks of you as a business, and you need to run your business like a business, like no matter what you're doing. Whoever you're writing a check to, it's like you are a business and you're hiring a contractor to do a job. Anything over $600 or more, it needs to be reported to the IRS and to that person's name. Now, you get that person to fill out a W-9, and I do not pay anyone without a W-9 on the front end. Now, if it's $100 here, $200 there, but we keep track of that, and anything over $600, we will not write you a check unless we have a W-9 on you on file. And you got to kind of have some protection here. And so the law, your county law and the state law, when you start paying people, it may be classification in their state law as an employee. Now, that changes into a very big subject, but just let me tell you right now, you need to have an affidavit. And if you're a homie and you don't have an affidavit and you want to text me, I can get you an affidavit, but you need an affidavit to basically declare the person that you're writing the check to that they are a self-employed person and that you're not an employer of that person. They're just doing contract work. And so how do you justify contract work? Well, you ask them to do a job. Can they do it? They do it on their own time. To be an employee, you tell the person to be there, when to be there, and you're kind of controlling them, aka owning them. And then you're going down a different road where you're going to have workman's comp, and you're going to have to pay their Social Security, and it's just another arena. Where you want to be at, you want to be as an investor paying a contractor, and make sure you follow these guidelines, that you have all your ducks in a row, that they are a bona fide business, and that maybe that they have an EIN number. And if they don't have an EIN number, but what you need to do is track it through the W-9. At the end of the year, you can issue that individual a 1099 if you hire a good bookkeeping company, or you have really good software. Even Buildium tracks 1099 staff for you, and you have to issue by the end of the year, by December 31st, by January 31st, they must have a 1099 delivered to them through the mail. You can email them, you can hand it to them, so that individual, that contractor, can go do their taxes. So when hiring a day laborer or a handyman, how should I pay them? Never pay anyone in cash. Pay in a check. Why? You could track it because it's a tax deduction. And what is the best way to track that spending for tax purposes? You can go old school and use a check registry. You can use a spreadsheet, but you do have to communicate this information to your CPA so you can get this a deduction off of your taxes, because these are costs that you incur for running a business and repair. Now, if you start writing checks to heat and air people in the tune of $2,000, $3,000, a W-9 really doesn't matter, because that may be classified as a capital improvement. So you need to understand what's the difference between a capital improvement and a repair. A new roof is considered a capital improvement. Painting the inside of the property because it's jacked up over wear and tear, that's considered a repair. So you got to be cautious, putting a new light fixture in. What's the question? New light fixture. There was one there. That's not necessarily repair. It gets real gray. You got to have a really good CPA, an accountant that really understands what you're trying to do as a real estate investor. You need to track and document as much as possible. Constantly think that you're going to get audited. Constantly think that something's going to go awry, and you need to have your ducks in a row. Be organized now if you have one house or 100 houses. You just never know. If you have no patience and you don't want to deal with this, that's okay. There's great services out there like shoebox.com that could organize this information for you, at least track stuff. It's called hubdoc.com that kind of organized all of your statements for your bank account and your spreadsheets. So those are the two things that I would definitely consider. If you need more information on this, email me and I'll elaborate more. Anyway, thanks for tuning in to the Savvy Radio Show. I think I forgot, maybe I said it, but I'm Stephen Van Kellenberg. I'm Savvy. I have written a few books, and I actually written a book on this called Hiring Contractor. Get it on Amazon. It's a green book. I think it's like $15. Or come by the office and buy one off me. I'll hook you up for 10. It would help my children. Anyway, I want to give a mad shout out to someone. When I started this thing 3 years ago, I had no reviews, and it tickled me the other day that someone was on an iPhone. I'm not a big iPhone fan, and they were like, how do I subscribe to your podcast? That was just cool. I'm just honored. And so I took the dude's phone, and I saw that there was 10 reviews on there. I was like, wow, I was kind of humbled. 400 and something episodes, 3 years going strong. I got 10 reviews. It'd be rad if you could write a review about that, about if you've been impacted at all about this, even on Stitcher, for sure on iTunes. It would help your boy out. Also, let me know if there's something that you want to hear. I would love to break it off. Other than that, what are you going to do? Go buy assets, be self-sufficient, be self-independent, go big or go home.
Thanks for listening to the Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at SavvyRadioShow.com. Connect on Twitter at LandlordBook, and always be buying assets.